I want you to think about the last time you had to make a difficult, high-stakes leadership decision. Perhaps it was a sudden budget cut handed down from the executive suite, a major strategic pivot on a project your team had spent months developing, or a toxic conflict between two high-performing team members. How did you feel in that moment? Did you feel a grounded sense of clarity and focus, or did you feel a frantic, tightening need to please everyone in the room? Did you stare at the data until your eyes blurred and your head throbbed, hoping that if you just run one more scenario, the perfect answer would magically jump off the spreadsheet? Or did you simply default to doing more, pushing yourself and your team to work longer hours because you didn't know which way to turn? In my coaching conversations with hundreds of brilliant women leaders, I've noticed a pattern. Most leaders treat values and vision as things that belong on a colourful laminated poster. They think of them as the soft stuff, the warm, fuzzy corporate fluff we talk about when we aren't busy doing the real work. Lean in and listen up. The reason you're exhausted is not because you have too much to do, is you don't know who you are being while you're doing it. Without a strategic North Star, every single decision from a stakeholder is a potential threat. Every meeting is a massive drain on your limited cognitive resources. You're leading in the dark, spinning your wheels in reactivity, and your team can feel you fumbling for the light switch. Today, we're going to reverse that conventional leadership wisdom. The business world tells you to survive in a volatile environment, leaders need to be more flexible or more agile and constant adaptation. I'm here to tell you that the most agile, high-impact leaders are actually the most rigid when it comes to their core. Strategic leadership presence isn't about shifting and bending with every passing corporate wind. It's about being an unshakable anchor in the storm. And that anchor is your strategic North Star. Remember, excellence is your baseline, but presence is your breakthrough. You're only one reconstructed thought away from the breakthrough you deserve. And today we'll find your North Star and bring you back to baseline. Welcome back, my lovely. You're listening to the Strategic Leader Within podcast with Sue-Ann Higgins. And we're continuing on our Strategic Leadership Presence series. In the previous episodes, we mapped the journey from rung 2 to rung 10 on the Leader Within Savviness ladder. We untangled the visibility paradox and we laid the structural foundations of the intentional teams method. We essentially built the map. We've built the ship. But a state-of-the-art ship has a beautiful map, and a beautiful map are completely useless if the captain doesn't know her destination. Today, we're stepping away from the external mechanics and diving deep into the inner world of the leader. To reach rung 10 of the strategic trailblazer, you must make a fundamental shift in your internal operating system. You must transition from external validity to internal authority. Let's look at how this looks on the savviness ladder. A rung 2 leader operates from a place of external validation. Under pressure, she looks outside of herself for the answers. She constantly asks, what does the board want from me? What does my boss expect? How can I communicate this so that absolutely nobody is upset or uncomfortable? Because her baseline is reactive, She is constantly adjusting her behaviour to meet everyone else's expectations. She's become an indispensable doer, but she is completely invisible as a strategic thinker. A rung 10 leader, however, operates from a place of internal authority. Under pressure, she looks inside first. She asks, what does the strategic vision of this organisation require? Which of our core values are we honouring in this decision? How does this choice move us closer to our strategic North Star? This internal pivot is the exact difference between a manager who reacts to circumstances and a leader who actively shapes them. Today, we're going to refine your vision and your values. We're going to move them out of the lunchroom poster and transform them into a neurologically informed strategic decision-making tool. To understand why we lose our way, we have to look at how our default leadership tendencies react under the pressure of high-stress corporate environment. Under intense pressure, your greatest natural strength can actually be your blind spot and blind you to your strategic North Star, trapping you into a cycle of reactivity. I want us to look at our 3 primary leadership tendencies. As we explore these, I'll describe them in the third person using she and her. I want you to listen with a clean, non-judgmental mind to see which pattern she displays when the stakes are high. Remember, you might experience a mix of all these 3 depending on the day, but you will recognise one of these tendencies as your default home base. Tendency 1 is the responsible executor. Let's bookmark this as the to-do list vision. When a leader operates from the responsible executor tendency, she has a beautiful natural drive for reliability and execution. But when she's stuck on rung 2, she completely mistakes tasks for vision and goals for values. Under pressure, her North Star is not a long-term strategic destination. Her North Star is simply just the next deadline. She's so deeply focused on the how and the when that she completely loses sight of the why. She's working 50 plus hours a week, and her daily experience is one of chronic, frantic busyness. She feels like she's running on a treadmill that is set just a little bit too fast, and she can't step off. She values reliability deeply, but because she hasn't defined her own strategic values, she becomes reliable for everyone else's priorities instead of her own. She is highly valued as a resource, but she is completely overlooked as a strategist. She has become a world-class executor of other people's dreams, while her own strategic voice remains silent. Tendency 2 is the thoughtful contributor. We'll bookmark this as the people-pleasing compass. When a leader shows up with a thoughtful contributor tendency, her natural strength is relatedness, empathy, and building cohesive, harmonious relationships. But under pressure at rung 2, the strength moves into over-accommodating trap, what we call the people-pleasing trap. Her North Star is not an unshakable internal compass, it's actually a mirror. She is constantly adjusting her position, her tone, and even her strategic recommendations based on the emotional state of the people in the room. She values harmony so much that she is terrified of friction or disappointing a stakeholder. Her internal experience is one of constant grinding cognitive dissonance. She feels a deep friction because she is trying to be all things to all people, because she hasn't anchored herself in her own core values. She's unconsciously adopts the values and priorities of whoever spoke last in the meeting. To senior leaders, she doesn't look collaborative. She looks wishy-washy, hesitant, and lacks in leadership conviction. Tendency 3 is the careful analyst. We'll bookmark this as the analysis paralysis North Star. When a leader displays careful analysis tendencies, her natural superpower is precision, deep analytical thinking, and risk mitigation. But when she's stuck on rung 2, she believes that safety can only be found in absolute 100% certainty. Her North Star is not a bold, inspiring vision. She is waiting for the data to tell her what a vision should be. She falls into indecision paralysis, overanalyzing choices and delaying critical actions. Her internal experience is one of mental looping. She convinces herself that she cannot declare a vision, make an executive call, or present a recommendation until she has completely proven it and it's risk-free. But vision by itself, by its very neurological definition, is about navigating the unseen volatile future. By waiting for perfect certainty, she completely misses the opportunity to lead. Her strategic North Star is buried under a mountain of spreadsheets, and while she is deep in the data, the executive team is waiting for her to look up, command the room, and point the way. She stays invisible because she's wanting the numbers to do the leading for her. My lovely, do you see the pattern here? In every single case, the absence of clear, self-defined internal compass is the exact mechanism that keeps her stuck in the tactical weeds, working long hours and feeling invisible at rung 2. To break this pattern, we have to look under the hood of the brain. Let's talk about what's actually happening at your neural machinery when you operate without a strategic North Star. To understand why a strategic North Star is a biological necessity for a leader, we have to move beyond soft leadership concepts and look at the hard science of your brain's energy economy. We need to talk about specific neural mechanisms. Allostatic load, that's the body budget, the Goldilocks effect of the prefrontal cortex, and the neuroception of certainty. Your brain's primary job is not to think, it's to keep you alive. It does this through a process called allostasis, managing what neuroscientists call your body budget. The brain is constantly predicting the metabolic cost of your actions and allocating resources accordingly. Your prefrontal cortex, the PFC, what I call your strategic command centre, is the pilot of your leadership. It's responsible for strategic planning, complex decision-making, emotional regulation, and ethical reasoning. But here's the catch. The PFC is incredibly small and unbelievably resource greedy. It represents only about 6% of your brain mass, but consumes a staggering 80% of your brain's total neurochemical resources, specifically dopamine and norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is also called noradrenaline. It's a neurotransmitter and hormone involved in alertness, attention, focus, and actually maintaining blood pressure. You can consider it the attention neurochemical. I call the PFC just right. If you have too little stimulation, you're disengaged. But if you have too much pressure, or if your brain is constantly forced to evaluate every single daily decision from scratch without your internal filter, your body budget goes bankrupt. Your brain perceives a high-cost threat-heavy environment. To save energy, it proactively diverts those premium neurochemicals away from your PFC and flushes them into your limbic system. That's your survival system. Your synapses literally disconnect. You don't lose your intelligence or your capability. You're simply under-resourced. You slip into cognitive fog, decision fatigue, and emotional reactivity. This is what happens when you lead without a strategic North Star. Every budget request, every difficult conversation, and every email requires you to build your criteria for decision making on the spot. You're burning through your precious PFC fuel by 10 a.m., leaving you running on adrenaline and cortisol for the rest of the day. But the neural cost doesn't stop with you. It ripples directly out to your team. Your nervous system is a leadership broadcast tower. Through mirror neurons, human brains are designed to pick up and replicate the physiological states of those around them. If you are operating with an unshakable North Star, your inner world is in a state of high beta stress and you broadcast subtle, involuntary danger signals. Your team's pre-conscious threat detection system, their neuroception, instantly picks up these cues. They sense that the environment is unsafe. Their own prefrontal cortexes go offline, and you can trigger what we call a certainty sting. And this sting looks highly depending on which tendency you are currently displaying. The executive certainty sting we could name tactical volatility. When a leader displays responsible executor tendency, her team looks to her for the plan. Because her only North Star is the immediate deadline, her team experiences constant flashing. One day the priority is Project A, the next day it's Project B, and because she's reacting to whichever email is screaming louder, the constant shift signals a massive certainty threat to her team. They never feel safe because they can't predict what tomorrow holds. Their brain perceives them as mere cogs in a machine, triggering a status threat. They stop innovating and stop thinking strategically themselves because their brain is locked in a survival loop, trying to keep up with her frantic tactical shifts. The thoughtful contributor's certainty sting is the permission gap. When a leader shows up with the thoughtful contributor tendency, her team looks to her for emotional safety and clear boundaries. But when she wavers, seeks constant permission, or softens her strategic convictions because she's worried about people's reactions, she creates what I call a permission gap. The room neurocepts her hesitation and physical tension as a lack of authority. She triggers a certainty threat because no one actually knows where she stands. If the leader is looking around the room for approval, the team's brain instantly asks, who is actually piloting the ship? This triggers immense social static. The team loses their sense of direction because their emotional thermostat, the leader, is constantly fluctuating. The careful analyst's certainty sting is the leadership vacuum. When a leader displays the careful analyst tendency, her team looks to her for truth and direction. But when she stays silent, retreats into her office and refuses to make a call because she's waiting for 100% of the data, she creates a leadership vacuum. In the human brain, silence is never neurocepted as careful, prudent thinking. It's neurocepted as absence and threat because the brain's prediction machine can't stand in a vacuum. It will instantly fill the silence with its own worst-case predictions, rumours and panic. By waiting for certainty, she triggers a massive certainty threat in everyone else. She isn't being prudent, my lovely. She is being neurologically invisible, and she has her team completely unanchored in the storm. Do you see the profound power of a strategic North Star now? When you have an unshakable, deeply felt internal compass, you provide the brain's certainty keeper exactly what it needs. You move from being a source of biological threat to being a source of strategic grounding. Even when you are in the middle of a high-stakes crisis and you don't have all the tactical details, you have the internal certainty of your values. When you can stand in front of your team or senior leaders and say, the market is volatile and the complete data set is still coming in, but our North Star is operational integrity. And that value will guide every decision we make today. You instantly settle the nervous system of everyone in the room. You calm their limbic systems and bring their prefrontal cortexes back online. And you command the room with unshakable rung 10 authority. So how do we this strategic North Star? We're going to spend weeks in a retreat, burning sage or writing endless passive journal entries about our dreams. In the Leader Within method, we believe in operationalising your vision. We use targeted power moves from the Leader Within playbook to turn your abstract values into daily high-impact leadership behaviours. Let's walk through the 4 steps to anchor your North Star today. Step 1 is reconnect with purpose. This is Power Move 70. Before you can hope to lead others or align a department or a team, you must know exactly why you are sitting in the leader's chair. This is Power Move 70, reconnect with your purpose. I want you to reflect on the why. I want you to reflect on why your work matters to you right now. I'm not asking you why it matters to the company's bottom line or your stakeholders' portfolios. I'm asking why it matters to you, to your legacy, and to your personal standard of excellence. Is it about solving seamlessly impossible complex problems? Is it about building a sanctuary where talented people can grow and thrive? Is it about leaving an industry in a better place than you found it? Write down one single powerful sentence that expresses your personal why. The sentence is the bedrock foundation for your North Star. It's filter through which every corporate request must pass. Step 2 is the legacy question. This is Power Move 90. A rung 10 strategic trailblazer always leads with the end in mind. She doesn't measure her success by how many tasks she's checked off her list today. She measures it by the transformation she creates. This is Power Move 90, the legacy question. At the end of every single month, I want you to step away from your inbox, look at your why, and ask yourself this precise question. How did I lead this month in a way that I am deeply proud of? What did I leave within people, not just on their to-do lists? This simple reflective practice instantly pulls you out of the frantic run-to busyness trap and redirects your strategic focus to long-term impact. If your actions this month don't align with your legacy question, you've drifted from your North Star, and you can course correct before the further damage is done. Step 3 is the monthly reset, vision reset. It's power move number 71. Vision isn't a set and forget corporate exercise. It's a living, breathing neural pathway that requires constant maintenance and reinforcement. On the first Friday of every month, block out 60 minutes of uninterrupted tiger time. Revisit your long-term strategic vision and ask, how do our current team initiatives directly align with this destination? What are we doing that is simply noise, and what must we stop doing to protect our focus? If you have a tendency toward the careful analyst, this monthly reset is your biological permission slip to adjust and refine your vision based on new incoming data without you feeling like you have failed. It replaces passive strategic drift with active, intentional alignment. Step 4, anchor your energy. Focus word of the day, which is power move number 5. To keep your North Star highly visible in the middle of your daily corporate grind, when the emails are exploding and the people are interrupting you, you need a rapid 2-second neural anchor. This is power move number 5, focus word of the day. Every single morning, before you open your laptop or you look at your phone, choose a single, powerful, guiding word to anchor your energy and direct your prefrontal cortex. If your strategic North Star is innovation, your focus word of the day might be curiosity. If your core value is authentic honesty, your word might be directness. If you are preparing for a highly contentious, high-stake meeting that's making you nervous, your word might be poise. This simple, intentional practice primes your brain's attentional filters. It places your nervous system automatic reactivity with deliberate, grounded presence. Throughout the day, whenever you feel irrational or stress rising, you simply repeat the focus word to bring your strategic command centre back online. My lovely, your challenge this week is to stop acting like a reactive rung-to manager and start showing up with unshakable authority of a rung-10 leader. Here is your exact step-by-step implementation blueprint for the next 7 days. Step 1, identify your decision friction. Think of one strategic decision, project pivot, or boundary conversation that you are currently avoiding or procrastinating on. Are you waiting for just a little more data? Speaking to you, careful analyst tendency? Are you worried about how a certain stakeholder would react to your boundary? This is the thoughtful contributor's tendency. Or are you simply too busy firefighting to even think about it? Then you've fallen into the responsible tendency. Step 2, apply power move 70. Look at this pending decision through a clean, powerful lens of your personal why. Ask yourself, if I strip away all the corporate noise, the office politics, and the fear of making a mistake, What is the most purposeful, value-aligned choice for the long-term vision? Forget about the how. For just 2 minutes, focus on the strategic why. Step 3 is deploy your Power Move 5. Choose your focus word for this specific decision. If you need to make a tough call, your word could be courage. If you need to present your choice to a challenging stakeholder, your word could be brevity. Ground yourself in that word before you speak. Step 4, execute your one thought shift. To break that neural gravity of your default try harder traps, you must actively reconstruct your underlying assumption. Identify which tendency you are currently experiencing and practice the cognitive shift. If you're displaying the responsible executor tendency, reconstruct your thinking, shift from the toxic assumption that I need to make this decision quickly just to get it off my plate and keep driving output, to the reconstructed thought that I'm using the decision to intentionally steer my team towards our strategic North Star. If you're displaying the thoughtful contributor tendency, reconstruct your thinking by shifting from the anxious assumption, I hope everyone agrees with and likes my decision so we can maintain harmony, to the reconstructed thought, my decision is grounded in our shared strategic values and respect is more valuable than constant approval. If you're displaying the careful analyst tendency, reconstruct your shifting by shifting from the frozen assumption of, I must wait for absolute certainty and 100% of the data before I can safely make this call, to the reconstructed thought, my strategic North Star provides all the internals I need to make this call and pivot fast if required. My lovely, when you lead from your strategic North Star, you stop being a highly available, exhausted, safe pair of hands and start being an unmistakable authority. You move from that frantic, reactive rung 2 to the elegant, grounded composure of rung 10. You stop merely working and you start becoming. If you've been listening to this episode and thinking, Sue-Ann, this resonates at my very core, and I'm so tired of the endless firefighting and the decision, I want to master the neuroscience that will let me step into my true strategic presence, then I want to invite you to join me in my upcoming masterclass. It's called The 3 Leadership Tendencies That Keep Ambitious Women Leaders Invisible. In this complimentary, exclusive, high-impact masterclass, we're going to look deeper into the neuroscience of the responsible executor, the thoughtful contributor, and the careful analyst. I'll show you how those unconscious patterns under pressure keep you trapped in overwork, overthinking, and invisible to the decision makers in your organisation. We'll map out the exact neural shifts and the power moves you need to break free from the visibility paradox, reclaim your time and show up as the strategic authority everyone wants on their team. This is a live, highly interactive masterclass and registration is officially open. To secure your complimentary seat, head over to sue-ann.com.au/. The link is in the show notes below. Go there now and register and let's build your unshakable foundation. In the next episode 36, which is identity leadership, we're going to take the internal North Star and turn it into an external team brand. We're going to look at how to signal your team's value to senior leaders so powerfully that opportunities and respect find you automatically without you ever having to brag. And we're going to really build your squad's rung 10 presence. Until then, remember, excellence is your baseline, but presence is your breakthrough. You're only one reconstructed thought away from the breakthrough you deserve in your life and leadership journey. Take a deep, regulated breath. Find your focus word and follow your strategic North Star.